In a truly unexpected development, Justin Bieber's name has suddenly been dragged into the internal turmoil that has long overshadowed BTS members Jungkook and Taehyung in a conflict that is growing increasingly tense with HYBE. The fact that a global artist of Bieber's caliber expressed surprise and even revealed shocking information only underscores that this issue has moved beyond the confines of South Korea's music industry and has become a serious international conversation. Yet one key question continues to linger. What is really happening behind the scenes, and how deep is HYBE's involvement in this rift? Over the past few months, the relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung and their agency has appeared to stray further from any sense of harmony. Video clip fragments, changes in interaction patterns, the absence of joint appearances in major projects, and tense facial expressions during certain moments have formed a puzzle full of questions. But the real surprise is not just in these internal behavioral changes, but in the fact that an external party, in this case, Justin Bieber, claimed to know a number of things that haven't been made public. Is Justin Bieber merely expressing sympathy as a fellow musician? Or does he know something that the management has long kept hidden? Bieber's vague statement during an online interview mentioned that some very talented people are being sacrificed for the stability of the system. That remark immediately triggered strong reactions across platforms, with netizens speculating that Bieber might be referring to the conflict between Jungkook and Taehyung versus HYBE's power structure. This claim remains unverified, but the fact that Justin Bieber is business-connected to a major company directly tied to HYBE makes his statement difficult to ignore. Bieber is not just a musician. He is part of a complex network spanning the global entertainment industry and investment interests involving many major figures and corporations. Thus, his statement, however non-explicit, carries serious implications. The question now is, does this mean there is a systematic attempt to silence or even weaken the position of these two BTS icons? Many are beginning to question whether major decisions have been made without including Jungkook and Taehyung's personal input. One independent music analyst account on Twitter even claimed that over the past 2 years, their artistic direction has been gradually shut down, with company agendas placing them in passive roles. More shocking is the emergence of unofficial documents indicating that a global collaboration project initially planned by Jungkook and Taehyung with certain international artists, one believed to be Justin Bieber, was unilaterally cancelled by HYBE management. Was this coincidence, or a strategy to prevent the formation of a new power outside the company's control? Army's reaction can no longer be dismissed as merely emotional fandom. In multiple countries, including South Korea, the United States, the Philippines, and Brazil, fans have begun organizing more structured campaigns. Protest banners have appeared. The phrase "Return Taehyung" has become a symbol of resistance, and hashtags like #FreeJungkook from HYBE have trended globally. This is no longer just about fandom, but a resistance against a system seen as harmful to the artists themselves. But who should be held accountable? Is it true that HYBE is acting in an authoritarian manner in managing their biggest assets? Or is this all just a perception shaped by social media narratives and incomplete information? Moreover, how great is the risk Jungkook and Taehyung face if they decide to openly challenge the system? One undeniable fact is that as these two core BTS members appear distanced from the company's control center, support from international celebrities like Justin Bieber signals that something bigger is happening. Bieber even liked a post stating, "Justice for Kim Taehyung," which added more fuel to the controversy that has yet to die down. The public deserves to ask, is HYBE still a safe place for its artists? And if not, what is the next step for Jungkook and Taehyung? Can they stand as independent entities, or will the system continue to suppress them in invisible but effective ways? Meanwhile, speculation is running wild. Some analysts even suggest that Bieber's involvement is not spontaneous, but part of a quiet advocacy effort by industry insiders fed up with authoritarian practices in artist management. If that's true, then the public is witnessing a revolution larger than a mere artist agency conflict. Now the public faces a moral and intellectual dilemma. Are we merely passive consumers enjoying a product, oblivious to the suffering of the creators behind the scenes? Or do we dare speak up, demand justice, and support artists fighting for their rights within an oppressive system. This article does not aim to accuse, but to invite readers to think. If it is true that internal pressure has led two major figures like Jungkook and Taehyung to remain silent, then who will speak for them? And if Justin Bieber has begun to voice the injustice he sees, does that mean the alarm has been sounded? We cannot look at this from only one side. But neither can we allow powerful entities to silence creativity and personal expression. This is where the importance of being skeptical, analytical, and reflective lies. Are the circulating stories factual? Or are we being made part of a narrative crafted to conceal internal conflict? Because in the end, there are only two possibilities. The truth will be revealed, or we all become part of a lie carefully designed to look like the truth. Yet one unanswered question remains. Why has Justin Bieber's involvement in BTS's internal issues created a far greater resonance than any response from the agency itself? Is it mere coincidence, or an intentional accident, a symbolic maneuver to reinforce Jungkook and Taehyung's position under pressure from within HYBE's structure? This issue grows more complex as the public faces two opposing realities. On one hand, there is collective hope that the personal relationships among BTS members remain intact. On the other, undeniable facts emerge about strategic separation and redirection of support. When an old post by Taehyung went viral again, indirectly referencing losing direction in a system too big, the public began to reconstruct the narrative. Is this conflict not just personal, but a manifestation of long-rooted institutional pressure? It cannot be ignored that Bieber's appearance in this narrative is not an isolated event. His involvement, through personal acknowledgments and clues interpreted by netizens as support for Jungkook, has reopened old wounds, reminding many that artists within powerful industry structures have faced similar pressure. So if Bieber truly knows something the public doesn't, who told him? And why did he choose to share it implicitly? We now face a deeper question. Is Bieber's comment an early warning of something much bigger? Or is it part of a global narrative game aiming to morally and socially pressure HYBE? Because if it's true that an outsider voiced concern before anyone within BTS did, HYBE's credibility as a protector of its artists must be seriously questioned. Why has management made no visible effort to calm the public as Taehyung's disappearance from certain promotional activities becomes more glaring? Why has Jungkook, in several indirect statements, appeared to show undeniable emotional gestures? Is this a deliberate silent strategy or disguised helplessness under a veil of professionalism? If these questions feel weighty, then consider the following. How is it possible that the two most central figures in BTS, Jungkook and Taehyung, seem to be the ones most distanced from key promotional decisions? Doesn't this contradict the narrative that HYBE prioritizes all members equally? Public reactions on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube reveal a recurring pattern: unease, speculation, and virtual movements demanding transparency. But what matters more than the viral response is the narrative structure shaped by this information chaos. Is this a silent resistance by fans, or part of a larger agenda reshaping public figure power dynamics behind management's curtain? It must be emphasized that all current information stems from social media and unverified data snippets. But the absence of clarification doesn't eliminate suspicion. It is this very absence that strengthens the belief that something is being deliberately hidden. In recent live broadcasts, Jungkook has shown a noticeable change in mood. A lowered tone, more cautious word choices, and less cheerful expressions have been interpreted by fans as signs of internal pressure. The same applies to Taehyung, who now appears more in personal rather than group activities, seen as a loss of control over the main narrative. So is Justin Bieber just an observer? Or is he a witness aware that BTS's internal conflict has reached a critical point and external pressure is needed for change? If his statements and symbols are seen as codes, then what do those codes mean for fans? And more importantly, are those messages directed at HYBE or at Jungkook himself? At this point, the public must not become passive consumers of misleading information flows. A fundamental question must echo continuously. Do the circulating stories have a factual foundation? Or are they merely sensationalism cloaked in false empathy and mass panic? We must realize that the entertainment industry is never entirely neutral. Narratives are shaped, crises are engineered, and characters are sacrificed to preserve certain structures. If Jungkook and Taehyung are truly under managerial pressure, then Bieber's involvement is merely a domino effect of a system that has long ignored idols' psychological dynamics. In such a situation, society bears the ethical responsibility not to worsen the situation by spreading unverified information. However, the public also has the moral right to demand clarity. So, the question is, what is being hidden? And why? Is this conflict real? Or is it just a public performance designed to generate maximum exposure? Is Jungkook truly showing regret for decisions he didn't make? Or is this an illusion crafted to maintain public sympathy toward the idol, not the system oppressing him? Ultimately, we all must take a stand, as critical observers, not just fans swept away by media storytelling. Because when artists choose silence and management chooses suppression, the only voice left is the public. And that voice only matters when grounded in sharp thinking, not easily manipulated emotion.